As soon as the party gets started, you want to shut the little man down. You're a straight hater. Anyway, so this video I came across. Listen, I thought this was a skit. This ain't no skit. This brother came to his house, and his daddy was in the house, and his girlfriend was cooking for his daddy. His daddy showed up unannounced, and the way he handled this situation, I'm gonna let the video play, and I'm gonna let y'all come to y'all own conclusion about it. Boy, oh boy.
Let's get this out. It's the third time this week I done got off work, pulled in my driveway, and my daddy in my goddamn house. But I telling me he gonna be in my goddamn house. I just don't understand this shit, man.
Well, why was the camera rolling before he walked in the house?
Father, man, knowing
because he saw his dad, because he saw the car.
And he said he been there before. He been there before.
See, that's what made me thought it was a setup.
Me too. Me too.
Just like I thought. Just like I thought.
These videos never show for me good on here, but I know what's going on. So it's all good.
What we got going on here, huh?
Get the camera on my face.
What we got?
Oh damn, I can't hear.
Huh?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
What y'all? Hey, don't fucking junior me, man. Don't fucking junior me, man. It's your third time this week popping up in my motherfucking house without letting me know you gonna pop up, huh? You fucking eat chicken, and you got these little ass shorts on.
So tight.
What's wrong with y'all, man? What the hell y'all got going on?
If you
got your legs
if you mute yours,
drinking and snow, I ain't fucking tripping.
if you mute it a little bit, you'll be able to look on your phone and see it.
I don't give a damn what. Say, man, what's going on, huh?
What's going on? I'm frying chicken for my man. That's it. And why are you recording? Get the camera out.
Well, your man just got here, and I come home. Think about this shit. I'm coming home to my motherfucking pops in the kitchen with my goddamn girl with these little ass shorts on, eating. I say, Junior.
You tripping, man.
Why how I'm tripping? Tell me how I'm tripping. Tell me how I'm tripping. You got these short ass.
I'm not doing anything. I'm frying chicken. You come home tripping like, what's the problem?
It ain't that serious.
And you
It ain't that
recording.
serious.
Hell no.
Did you tell me you was gonna be at my house?
I came from Miss George's house around the corner.
Did you let me know you was gonna be at my house? Huh? I come home, you sitting in the motherfucking kitchen talking to my girlfriend with these little ass shorts on, Tanisha.
Okay, I didn't know you didn't talk to him. I thought y'all talked. He stopped by, and that was it.
Say, man. This shit, dog. Nah, I'm tripping.
Nah, you tripping.
I'm tripping.
Yes.
You drinking? You full of fucking liquor? Full of fucking beer? Coronas? Liquor right here.
You tripping, Junior.
Huh? How I'm tripping?
Junior, please.
Say, man, y'all fuck all that junior shit.
Go sit down.
Fuck all that shit. I can go sit down.
Go sit down.
Go sit down.
Yes.
You take the motherfucking shorts off.
I don't have to take
Say,
no
you,
shorts off.
ain't
come
nothing
on.
like that, man.
Nah, I don't give a damn. You gotta go.
Man, I ain't
You gotta go.
Look how Dad's sitting
My
there.
house. You gotta respect my house. You gotta go. You gotta go, man. Get the fuck out of my house. I don't want fucking junior, man.
That's what pissed me off, because he's sitting down
Damn, that's
still.
my goddamn daddy. Ain't no mother. Man, get out of my house.
My mama left me.
And all
Get
spread
out of
open
my house,
like
man.
that's his house.
Man.
Get out of my house.
I was like,
So technically
he's
it's not
still
yours.
sitting.
You can't kick me out of ass place. Wrong too, Junior. You tripping.
Get out of my house, man.
Think somebody look at your mother woman. I had a woman her motherfucking age.
Get out of my house,
You
man.
tripping, dog. Come on, man.
Get out of my house, man.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Not tonight.
Get out of my house, man.
Not tonight,
Get
Junior.
out of my house, man.
He talking about not tonight.
Bro,
Mother-
y'all shit went too far. Y'all
Man,
got shit.
damn.
Stop.
You got me fucking up my house and
Junior,
shit.
chill the f***
No.
out. Chill out.
Hey, you can stop that shit. You can stop. I ain't your motherfucking son. I ain't no motherfucking junior. I ain't no motherfucking junior. You can kick that junior shit. You ain't my pops no more.
No shit, y'all.
You ain't my
fucking up
pops
my
no more.
house. Y'all
You
fucking
Derek
up
to
my
me,
house.
nigga. You Derek to me. Back your motherfucking ass up.
Bro, don't touch me.
Putting holes in my motherfucking wall and
You
shit.
out of line, Junior.
Up my house and shit.
You out of line, Junior.
Okay. Okay. You out of line. Talking about you got a motherfucking girlfriend, her age and shit. You supposed to be my motherfucking mama. You supposed to be my motherfucking mama.
So my question is Junior out of line?
No. Senior is out of line.
Is that even honestly, man? I can say as a man who has a dad that I just respect and revere and love. My pops, I could not imagine. My pops, of course, could come to my home and be there, right? But there's nothing about anything my dad has ever done or ever presented to me that would lead me to believe that he would be on some shit that I would be questioning if he was in my house, and I'd be probably surprised I'd be excited. Oh, my dad at the crib. Hey man, what's up, Pop? So I think the energy that he went there with says that there's already been something going on in the background.
Yep, that's what I think.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Frank.
No, I'm saying it's definitely something that has played out before, which is why he didn't want the man at his house to begin with. Maybe he was a deadbeat. Maybe he was abusive to his mom. Maybe it was something that made that man.
I think it's directly the way it looks. I don't think it's anything just like any type of resentment or pain.
Yeah, I think it's something.
Direct. I think it's trust. I think his dad has crossed him in that way. Something directly related to her and the dynamic there,
or another woman, or something.
Or it's something. It's something.
So that's why
he came in and said, "I told you I don't want this man in my house."
Mm-hmm. And that's where I got to get. That's where I'm going to get Sheffy now. Now, Sheffy, I'm going to bring you on the screen because Sheffy, you have said before that you at the age and stage where you can date the son or the father. Now, Sheffy, you telling? See, I knew this. Oh, you want to rock and shake your head too now, Desi? Just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's the issue I have, and this ain't got nothing to do with the son or the daddy. Why would you, as a woman, be standing around dressed like that with another man in the house? Whether that's
not your man, even with your man and another man.
You got your cheeks hanging out in front of your stepdad. Now we already know that's a whole kink out here.
Yeah,
not stepdad, but father-in-law.
Father-in-law,
you're right.
Kink out here. So that leads me to believe daddy has been invited.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, she was so bold enough to say, "I'm cooking for my man."
Right.
Like she. So I'm telling you, man. Look,
I would have told daddy if my man had already told me he don't want you here. Hey, you cool, we cool, but you can't be here when he come home.
Yeah, because definitely let's pretend like she has no idea how upset it would make her man. Once she realized he was upset when he got there, she should have shut everything down. She should have stopped frying that chicken. All right, you know what? He don't want you here. Go on and grab your plate that I gave you. We're gonna have to shut it down because he don't like it, and this ain't. But she was arguing, and being defensive. So that's another thing. It's like, no, like what y'all got going on? And
she has a lack
sitting there,
and she has a lack of respect for the young fella. She does not respect that young fella.
You sitting here with your legs open and all of that. He know what daddy owns.
Yep, and the fact that he's that comfortable, I feel like
the daddy and the son. Ain't nobody stupid.
Daddy done slid.
He has because if he was just there, let's pretend like it was all on him, all on the dad. He's being inappropriate. If the moment that the son came home and showed that he was uncomfortable, the dad should have immediately been like, you know what, let me get out of here. But something in him feels comfortable enough to sit like that because she already allowed it.
Yeah.
His comfort, it's like he's sitting there like that's his house. She didn't already let him walk all through that house with his dangling swing. So he thinks it's his.
You heard what he said. You sitting here with the legs open with a beer in your hand. Like that's how I sit.
Yep.
In my crib. Yep. I sit in my crib, laid back.
He's smashing that girl.
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
that them breed Coke 45 breath out on her neck.
She's smelling
And we ain't
exactly.
even mention what were they talking about when he walked in, because it sounded like they were,
It was kind of flirty. The conversation was a little.
Walked in, what were they talking about?
Right.
And, and no telling how long he was there too. So all right, so they got liquor out on the counter. They already zooted, and she frying chicken. It already done went down.
Yeah.
Oh
she gotta feed him now.
She in her I'm done clothes.
Yeah.
Let me get you a
I didn't
plate.
think about that part.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It done went down already.
And the fact that she said she cooking for her man, but the daddy already eating. Can't nobody eat till my man eat. If I'm cooking chicken for my man, why you already eating chicken? He ain't hit the dough yet.
Right.
The chicken gonna be still hot in the grease when you walk in the door, honey. Can't
Right. Yeah.
Because the chicken gonna stay in the buttermilk till I hear you pull up in the yard.
Right.
Then you can drop. You know.
Then you gonna drop that chicken.
You do your dip. You do your flour dip and your drop. Just go ahead.
Most y'all about to have is some Doritos, some stale Doritos from the back of the cabinet. That's what you can eat on till he get here, because he eating first. No, he's smashing that girl. Absolutely, he is.
The fact that a fight broke out was exactly the way that was supposed to go. Because
there's nothing to talk about.
I can't see it no other way. I
would have came, man. Let me have been a dude. I would have came in the door and daddy right off top. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because I told you not to be here.
Especially where he was sitting, man. Hey, you know what that sit is?
He was too comfortable.
That sit is air drying.
Yeah, it's air drying or come sit on my lap. It's one or the other. It's air drying or come sit on my lap.
They were airing them balls out.
Air drying.
Yeah.
Different.
He trying to get the breeze. He trying to get that breeze circulating through the bottom of them little shorts.
He hit raw then.
He did hit raw. Hey, what other way is there?
I mean,
at that age, listen. Men past 50. They feel like they ain't gotta live. They 50 something. I ain't gotta live the razor. This on her anyway. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be here in 20 years. Most men, so they just they reckless. But listen, men from a bygone era. Listen, if you y'all think I'm saying, listen, if you was born in the 80s, 70s, anything before that, we think we're impervious to everything at this point. We done made it this far. We've made it past life expectancy for the generations previous. So we just like shit. It's all good now. So homeboy, the pop's wilding out. Pop's wild now. Anyway, I ain't gonna belabor that too much. I thought that was messy. I thought it was crazy. I thought we could have a little fun with it. We finna get to Tony Gaskins, because Tony Gaskins got something for all y'all faith, y'all relationship and dating gurus like myself. He talking about y'all, not me, not us. He talking about y'all. So and he's got some really, really good takes on it. So I'm gonna let his video rock out. And y'all tell me what you think. I mean, and it's fair to say that Tony Gaskins does have a Christian worldview, but as a man, the principles are just sound if we're talking marriage, relationships, and that sort of thing. Like you, it's really hard to argue what this man is talking about. So I'm gonna let this first video play out and let you get y'all's feedback on it.
Right. So in our space here, right, who should somebody be looking to learn from? What's a healthy model of who you should be looking to learn from?
Right. First, before we get started, I want to say this is not oil on my face. This is a 5-step skincare routine my wife put in my travel bag. So,
okay, nice. Shout out to the wifey.
I want people to know I'm not nervous or sweating. It's just my wife got this skincare, so I keep looking and seeing. I'm like, man,
moisturize.
Well, moisturize.
Right.
Shout out to the wife. Shout out to the wife. Shout out to the wife.
We live in a society where we have out of shape personal trainers. We have broke financial advisors. We have single matchmakers. We have single relationship coaches. We have crooked car salesmen doing your mechanics, fixing your car. So we live in this world where you don't have to
Somebody
be
echoing
who you say you are.
My bad.
And that's why we are in a situation where we going to hell in a handbasket with gasoline draws on, because we have people who have not been in a successful relationship going on tour and creating the relationship narrative. So guys are literally hosting events with thousands of people having a conversation with unqualified people on the stage, not understanding how the mind works. Anything you hear, your mind accepts it as a truth, and you have to spend time refuting it in order to go the opposite way. And then we have single relationship coaches who are being highly touted. They're being brought on shows with 50 million listeners to give relationship advice, and they've never been married. And you have to be married, even if your marriage fails. You have to be married or have been married to be able to tell somebody how to make a relationship work. And that's what's crazy, and that's what's frustrating.
To
and
be
to be
able
honest
to
with
tell
you,
somebody how to.
there was a season I sat down. I stopped talking about love and relationships because it was so many crooks, so many snake oil salesmen, and I started speaking on just business and entrepreneurship because I probably have 13 companies and over 70 streams of income at this point because I count every product as a stream of income. And so I went just complete entrepreneurship. But then my wife and I had a conversation, and she was like, you got to get back to it, because if you don't hold your seat at the table, the devil going to sit somebody else there. And they're going to drive people the wrong way. And so that's what brought me back.
So one thing he said that I do have only bit of pushback. He said you gotta be married to give advice on relationships. I think you gotta at least have experience in relationship. And I understand why he said marriage, because I guess that's the ultimate form of commitment in relationships. But in this era, there's a little bit of pushback I give on that, because you got people that are in long-term, lifelong relationships going through a lot that give a little advice that I don't necessarily say, okay, you can't speak on. Now, if you're perpetually single, I think that's the separation between those that are on tour giving advice as far as relationships. I think where people get the mix is there's relationship advice and then there's dating advice. And sometimes we take them both as the same, and they're kind of not. Sometimes people are just giving good dating advice because that's the phase and stage they're in, and that's where they got their experience. Other times people are giving the relationships. But as relationship advice goes, do y'all follow his line of thinking, whereas you kind of got to be in it or have long-term experience with it to really, really speak on it?
I mean, think about your profession. Are you going to listen to the soldier who's been in for 2 years? He's an E3, or are you gonna listen to the one who's been in for 19? He's an E8. Who's gonna give you the most value? Yes, that person can give you some preliminary information, but they can't speak to how life-changing being in the military can be, because they've only been in it for a little bit of time. They can give you the entry stuff. You got basic training, you got AIT, but they can't tell you about the career.
Right.
So I think that's where it lies. It's like, if you have bumbled through 50 relationships, you could probably tell somebody what not to do,
or how to get them.
Right. You can tell them
how to get. Yeah.
But it's going to be real hard. You're going to be real hard pressed to have any valuable information about how to sustain, because you ain't never sustained.
I will speak from, like, I have a good friend that is a therapist, and I feel, and she admittedly doesn't really implement the things that she teaches. I feel like sometimes what to do and aren't doing it. So I feel like you can speak to relationships and not having, have success. You know what you're doing wrong for them not to be successful, and you choose not to correct it, but you can still, give the advice because
Yeah.
That's still professional, like, outlook.
And also I would say with therapists, they go through training to have an external objective view. You know, we're talking about these people on social media that are going on tour that are just talking and they just have great stage presence and they know how to get hype. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, and they say some stuff and it's just like, hold on, wait, like, bruh. And I'm gonna let Frank give his take. For me, it's, man, like, I didn't speak on, and I still don't speak on relationship stuff heavy because even me, I'm still getting my bearings back because I went through marriage and then I went to be I didn't go from marriage to single to marriage quick. So I took those wheels off and was a whole bachelor. And then I had to go back to emotional intelligence. And what Desi said is sure, because it is right. I used to be able to tell people, oh man, this is what you do. This is what you do. I should have wrote it down for myself for later. You know what I'm saying? So when I got married, I was like, oh yeah, that's what you do right there. No, I did not. So I got to talk real quiet in here about relationship stuff because I still haven't figured it all out. Because she hit me in here. She was like, he said he talking about emotional intelligence, talking about communication. He ain't communicating shit all week. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So go ahead, Frank. Give us. So do you think you should be seasoned in relationships before you really go out there and speak on it?
Man, the thing is, well, for one, I don't agree that you have to be married to speak about relationships. I've been married my whole adult life, basically. I don't know what it's like dating now or what it's been like. I know what it was like
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Damn, it's almost been that long.
Yes, you old, sir.
Yo, boy.
Man, things were when I was dating, we didn't have social media. We barely had the internet. Having the internet in your home was a privilege.
Right.
That was luxury. So I didn't get a desktop computer until after I got married. So I don't know what y'all folk been going through. So I can't get up here and say this is what you need to do when you're dating, because my dating advice is outdated. I don't even know if it will hold up to what happened.
It actually, I'm gonna give you actually way more credit than you know. Bro, throwback daters cook out here because when a man that's throwback engages women used to this bullshit, it wipes the floor with these new dudes because these new dudes don't even want to hold a conversation. And talking about in-person interaction, it's a struggle. So when the old cats get back in the dating game, it's like, oh shit, this is easy. You know what I'm saying? Inbox, you mean to tell me I got a day to prepare myself before I go say anything to this chick and she look good? Shit, boy, I was out here fishing with dynamite. I might as well. I'm just playing. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Man, I mean, man, some of my PPE probably not qualified. But to your point, that is an excellent point though, because some stuff in the principle is never obsolete.
Right.
Because just human decency is human decency. And that never plays out. Treating somebody the way you want to be treated, it never plays out. Common courtesy, respect, consideration never plays out. So, but the rest of the nuances and stuff y'all dealing with right now, I can't help it. But when you're ready to get married, I'm your nigga.
All right, we hold on. We got another guest that just joined the panel. We got another guest.
Frank,
yeah,
so funny to me.
Hold on. So Frank, you got to Frank went and did some recruiting for us today, and so you got to introduce the new panel guest today, Frank. Go ahead and give us an introduction. Y'all introduce it however y'all want to do it.
All right, so this is my player partner. Do you want me to say your whole name or your Facebook name?
Whatever's clever.
All right, so Leader. So we're gonna call you Leader because you got Leader right now. So this Leader, well-rounded individual, and man, she just you know her line of thinking. I agree with just about everything that she be putting out there, man. Her line of thinking is straight. It ain't crazy. It ain't wacky. But I am kind of afraid to get on her bad side. So I walk a thin line because I really believe that she'll cut a nigga throat with her words.
Wow, shit!
I ain't trying to experience that.
So she cutting with words, and Sheffy got the pistol. Okay, so we know now and we know Desi is pint size. She don't do a bunch of fighting. She don't do none of that.
She's gonna tear y'all ankles up.
But she will make a post, and it will say some. It be loud. That post be loud. I don't know who she be subbing out here, but when Desi say something on a post, I'm like, boy, whoever that was meant for, boy, that hurt. My feelings be hurt. I gotta double check, make sure I ain't saying something or did something. But welcome, Leader. Welcome. We were just Tony Gaskins. We're going through some of his parts of the interview that he did on Hardly Initiated, and he was saying how these relationship gurus and dating coaches now, but he was speaking more to relationship gurus, how they're these people that ain't been married and they ain't in relationships, but they're running around the world giving all this advice, and they're speaking to millions of people, and he compared it to, you know, overweight personal trainers and scam artists that are business people giving advice. And so the question I have is, you know, is a person more qualified when they actually have some skin in the game as far as relationship, be it a long-term relationship, marriage, or divorce? Are they better qualified to give advice and out here speaking to people in mass as far as relationships go?
Honestly, I think it matters. It all depends on. All right, so let me say this. Before you listen to anybody and take in what they have to say, you have to feel like they have the authority, right? If they don't have the authority, you're not going to listen to anything they have to say. So although I feel like there are quite a few people out there throwing around with relationship advice and all this other jazz, it seems like it's just to make a quick buck, excuse me. But at the end of the day, honestly, I think it depends on the individual and what they're choosing to listen to. Personally, I don't listen to half of this stuff. But it depends on how the person may or may not want to cherry pick the information that they're gaining. It just depends on the space that they're in, what they are or aren't willing to receive. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to say. I try not to dive into much of that these days because I think it's all a crock of bull, but you know.
It is. No, I think we all can agree that it's and Tony is going to get into more, but I think it has become so marketable because so many people genuinely want the answers to why it's not working, to where they're listening. And then, like you said, they got you got to have the ability to cherry pick what's good and what's not. I don't want to speed up past the next video of Gaskins because he even mentions Kevin Samuels. And he makes a very good point that another brother made to me, you know, in confidence. But anyway, I'm gonna play the next video. But to a degree, I agree with him. I agree that you need to have some skin in the relationship game, unless you're a professional. If you have been trained to deal with people and relationships, then that's a way. Like Desi said, her friend's a therapist. Those people that are licensed and trained to deal with people and relationships, they at least got schooling that makes them objective, and they just deal with relationship principles on their surface and whatnot. But I'm gonna play this next
Hold
one.
on, before you go on to
go
that,
ahead.
You said something about people are looking for answers to why things don't work. I don't think that's it at all. People are looking for somebody else to blame.
Everybody
don't want to take self into maybe I'm just not a good individual. Maybe that's why it's not working. Maybe
So, like,
maybe I don't dress nice. Maybe my career ain't together. Maybe I'm ugly. Whatever that is, a lot of people don't take enough self-stock into why it isn't working. This is why my fat tail don't have no problems. But another fat woman might. Well, how you out here doing? First of all, baby, I know where I play. I know where I can get what I need. And I'm not gonna be upset with a guy that don't want me because there's another guy over here who does. So it's things like that. I think people look at relationship gurus to find something to blame because it's like, okay, well, it's the women's fault because women don't do blah, 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 blah. This is why we have passport bros. Or it's the men's fault because men don't date anymore and there's not chivalrous. And instead of calling on the phone, they want to do Insta dates and jump on social media. These people give a blame. We live in a whole society right now of just folks inundated with let me blame somebody else, or you know what, God didn't want me to have that. Girl, bye. It wasn't for you anyway. Let's just be real. But I won't too long.
To piggyback off what you said, all right, you think of the word accountability, like this is me. I break things down to an unnecessary science, right? If you look at the word literally, it's spelled with 2 I's and 1 U for a reason. I look at myself and I turn it to you, then I get back to myself ultimately, right? 2 I's, 1 U. I feel like to piggyback off what you're saying, that is an issue that a lot of people have. They don't want to hold themselves accountable to why it doesn't work. Again, deal with people that like you. Maybe you are the problem. Maybe you do not know how to pick what actually works for you. You want to pick what society is telling you should pick. If you know you like X, Y, and Z, stop looking for an element. Okay, it is literally just that simple. Do what works for you. It's not hard.
And man, that would be absolutely great. But let me tell you, I know these dudes, and they listen. They rail against. We don't like. There are so many guys that look at a woman and say, okay, if we can convert her to think like her but look like her, she'll be great. Or we like the way she looks, but we just want her to change her hair. And then we're gonna have what we want. Like, bro, leave that woman the hell alone.
Man, these niggas
if you just go to who, I like her. I like her aesthetic. I like her attitude. I like all this. I don't even got nothing to say to you over here if you decide you want to go to Family Dollar in a bonnet. I don't care. I mean, it looks a mess, but if you ask me about dating them, I'm like, well, I just won't. You would have to ask me about dating them before I volunteer that information as to whether I would or not. But no, dudes are out here showing up unannounced. Nobody asked them. You know who I won't date? This one. What?
Nobody
asked you.
Nobody cares.
Nobody asked you that. Thanks for the update, nigga. Like, goddamn. Anyway, so anyway, Tony Gaskins also asked another question. He asked, or the guys from Hardly Initiated asked him why some women prefer hearing from men. And I kind of have my own thoughts on that, but they kind of align with his again. But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and give y'all perspective on that. But after we listen to the video.
So in general, you think for a woman, the male perspective in terms of learning and growing, developing is much more attractive than just hearing from another woman?
Yes, on average. Like, it's some women who they respect and they appreciate the voice of another woman, but most women that I talk to, they want to hear from a man because a man is who they're going to lie down with. A man is who they're going to marry and spend their life with. A man is who they're going to partner with to raise their children. So they want to hear about the male perspective. And also, men, we have been put in a man box to where we can't talk. So when a woman hears 2 black men sitting at the table having deep, good conversation, they're like, what is this? We got men talking. And so it's kind of like they are coming in the barbershop.
Yeah.
They're coming in the locker room. And a father can't really talk to his daughter because if he talks to his daughter too much, he has to remove his cape and he has to show her Clark Kent. And Clark Kent may have committed adultery. Clark Kent may have committed domestic violence. Clark Kent may have done some things that it's hard for us to talk about. So I'm fortunate to have 2 sons because I could be all the way there.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I was abusive in college. I was toxic. I was a womanizer. I slept with this amount of women.
Yeah.
And I feel more comfortable talking to my
Clark Kent
sons.
actually helps you build a relationship with your boys.
Exactly. But if I had daughters, I would be in a conniption.
Man, listen. Okay, I forgot that he went there with it. And then we as men with daughters, there is definitely things that I have not even been transparent about on this because Morgan and Michelle live and they might just hear something that they're not ready for before I can give it context. And so he's absolutely right about that. I think men do have to take off that cape. But and I know, Frank, I know you're going to speak to that too. But in general, as far as, do women still want to hear a man's perspective? Or is the game now so oversaturated with all these talking heads that you like, you know what, we tired of men talking now? Because there used to be a point in time where men wasn't talking. Now, everywhere you look, you got Devin, you got Kevin Samuels, you got all these people, these men out here talking. Do y'all even still really want to hear men's
I know you're not talking
perspective?
about Devin from the group.
Yes, he is.
No, Devin from Devin he gave y'all he dropped some reels earlier. He checked women. He checked y'all females. Devin checked y'all females. He let y'all females know what time it is.
He's seen a female.
Tired of you females. But do y'all still want to hear from men?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do. I grew up, I have my dad, I have 3 older brothers, I have uncles, I have cousins, I have all of my brother's friends and my own set of male friends, my homies, my big homies, and just call it what it is. I value the male perspective. I can remember being as young as being in my early teens and my brothers giving me game that I didn't want to hear about how you did her dirty. I didn't want my dad to be nitty gritty about his hotels and shit of that nature. However, I'm grateful for it because on one end, it gives me an idea of how I should and shouldn't move, but then it was a way for me to kind of get more insight and information from them. Just their ups and downs, the different things that they've been through. But again, I don't mind. Yo, speak your piece. I'm not here to stop you. I just know my levels and I know when it's time for me to ejectocito. So I'm very well aware of that. I know when to remove myself. It's a certain. Everybody ain't for you. Every message that every man is going to give you is not for you. So you have to have the presence of mind to know when to remove yourself. As long as you have that, I can't be mad about a Kevin Samuels. I can't be mad about Pookie down the street, especially if you do not apply and you're not somebody that I care to deal with or even put on some type of pedestal. Again, work smarter, not harder.
I like that.
For me, it's different. Like, I've been failed by most of the men in my life. From my father to relationships to brothers, uncles, cousins, the whole 9. So I was very young as a, late teen, early 20-year-old trying to seek the perspective of men because all I had the perspective was a bunch of women. And that's why, I'm one of those red flags, the woman who says, I'd rather be friends with guys than women. And that's just because of the relationships I've had with women in my family. And I saw the toxicity there. So it just had me in this realm of surely there's something better out there. Men just is toxic. So this is nothing, to that I lean that way because men are less toxic. No, not at all. So much as it was, I grew up without a male perspective, without a significant one. And it took me to have to engage with the notion of how to pattern my emotions in a logical way to be able to have conversations, to be able to be open and honest in relationships. And the only way I learned that was to get the male perspective. And that balance was required.
Right.
So for me, it started off in me seeking, how do I even navigate men, period? because my grandmama raised me not to need a man. We got a whole family of single moms and women being the men, even in their marriages. And I'm like, baby, that ain't for me. So how do I change that narrative? So that's why I kind of sought the male perspective and why I still enjoy it. Anytime I have relationship issues, I'm going to ask dudes, because every time I ask a woman, especially family members or people close to me, it's, girl, men ain't shit, men this and men that. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but explain to me logically why you feel why you feel. Can you apply any objectivity to that at all? And it never happens. Now, that's not to say women are incapable at all. It's not to say that at all, because there are some that aren't. I just haven't encountered any in my circle that are. So in most cases, I go to, let me make sure I'm not tripping, and go talk to somebody who's more objective and who's going to look at it a lot more logically than I probably did in the beginning. So yeah, I enjoy y'all fools.
Desi, what about you? So do you still, in light of all the social media gurus, like just the good and the bad, do you still prefer to get a man's perspective, or do you look forward to getting a man's perspective as it pertains to relationships?
I don't necessarily look for it, but I welcome it.
Okay.
I don't feel like, because gratefully I do have like sound, like women around me, my best friend especially. I can go to her, and if I'm not being rational, she's gonna say like, wait a minute, like slow down. That's not, I have people around me that are like that. So I'm not looking for it because it's not around, but it's like just to get the other side of the coin. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. Look, Desi, quick to the point. Frank, do you find yourself often? Do you find that women value the men's perspective from your vantage point?
Yeah, well, the niggas ain't retarded.
Okay, and break.
Right.
Boy,
I can't either. I cannot.
He said, "Boy, nigga ain't retarded."
It's too many out there, man. Okay, so yes, it's a great thing that men are opening up and speaking out, but what's prompting them to is anger.
Yep.
Nobody want to hear a mad nigga all the time.
Yeah.
These niggas just angry. Like, man. At what point are you gonna realize it's you? Yeah. You the problem. You're your own problem.
It's these females. It's not them.
Man, so I mean, I'm sick of y'all females.
He said that.
Yeah, Devin went in.
First thing out of his mouth.
Oh my goodness.
But
Steffi, what you do to him?
Who I do to who?
Devin.
You always calling Devin out. What you doing that day?
No, not that Devin. It's that nigga down on the video Manuel.
Oh, I asked y'all if it's the one from the group. Oh, okay, I don't know.
Oh, not him. Oh, not him. Oh, I know you. Oh man.
I was like, wait, what I missed?
No, you kick them nuts.
New Devin. New. I'll tag you to the new Devin. The new Devin been checking these women.
That other dude, I just banned his tail. I was just done. I'm tired.
Wow.
Because nobody would talk in the group because of him.
Yeah.
And you look at the engagement of the group when I kicked him out.
Yeah. Bad apple.
But
go ahead, Frank. Finish your point.
Yeah, I'm cut to the chase. But man, no, it's their disposition, their presentation. If you come out the gate aggressive, then your audience is gonna be defensive.
Yes.
So ain't nobody gonna listen to you at that point from jump. Ears shut down. So yeah, I believe that women are interested in hearing men speak, but at the same time, I think a lot of women have become jaded because of either their own personal experiences or the experiences of others that they have absorbed because they've heard so much. And so now they look at men in general as a broken cistern to where whatever they pour out is gonna have shards of glass in it and it's no good. They can't drink from that well. So I think they come in with some women come in with a preconceived notion or idea that as soon as a man opens his mouth, there's gonna be some BS coming out.
Yeah, another nigga with a podcast. Here you go. Here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Remember that whole dude that he invited a guy on the podcast with him that had been in a successful marriage for 20-something years. And the guy was like, you know, well, you got to listen to your wife and this, that, and the other. And he cut the guy off saying he don't know what he talking about. You remember that dude with the glasses?
Yeah.
That he would bring, see this whole simp, he out here treating these women right. Like he went off on dude. Dude has been married 20 years.
Man.
And he talking about ain't no way you got no successful relationship like that. What?
Listen, so and therein lies the problem. I hate to go back to my brother here, and he just said it clearly, man. When you ain't retarded, they listen, man. When I first started hearing so many men talking, it was loud because there was so many complaints. Now I was removed from those experiences, so far removed from their experiences that I'm like, okay, y'all tripping. Like there's no way it's that many women like that in the world to where y'all have these experiences and y'all all complaining. And part of me still believes that, because if I say that women have control over some of their experiences based on who they choose, I cannot then say that, oh, well, y'all dudes are all victims. Y'all are just good guys that choose good women with no red flags. And so there's some accountability that comes with that. So when I was hearing a lot of this talking going on, my brain kept trying to say, okay, well, but what did you not do right in this process? You cannot tell me you were a perfect guy who did all your due diligence and you just got this terrible experience. All of y'all? Nah, bro, I ain't buying that shit. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. So I went back at them with the same energy. Like, no, y'all just lame and y'all just don't know how to choose. because that's what y'all doing. However, had it been some brothers that said, hey man, I ain't know what I was doing out there and I just got. But now that I know what I'm doing, this is what I use to choose, and this is how I use the I can respect that a lot more. And like you just said, Frank, when you start off aggressive and doing all that yelling, I'm like, bro, go. I don't know what you need to do. Do you need to go take a drink? Or do you need to smoke a joint? What do you need to do to calm down first? Because all that yelling and all that spitting, that's not getting us nowhere, man. Especially when I see that you don't have that same energy for men. Like that's another thing with me. Like all that aggression for women, I need you to have the same when it comes to holding men accountable. Are we equal there? You know, and so for me, when men started, you know, the man perspective, I'll answer the question. Yes, I do think our perspective is valid. I do think we have a lot to offer when we are on our square, when we have a disciplined disposition, and when we're not responding out of emotion. That's not saying that we don't have emotions. That's not saying that we can't be emotional. It's saying that, hey man, let's use that little rational thing, reevaluate before you get on the damn mic and go on tour and do all this shit, and before you become a Devin and just start lashing out at all these women. I don't know if anybody else got anything on it, but I want to get Tony Gaskins' last point. The last point, and it's not the last point. He had a lot of points, but one of the last ones he's talking about, since we there, he was talking about men that have capitalized off of bashing women. Now, we kind of hold men accountable now. So, brothers, if you're watching it, I mean, you can tune out if you feel some way about it. But, bro, we cannot deny that in the last couple of years, man, it's dude that are millionaires off of just flaming women up as much as they can. So I'm gonna play this next segment from Tony where he just talks about men literally capitalizing off of y'all call it holding women accountable. We know the difference between holding women accountable and just straight out bashing. And this one is about a 4-minute video, so it's got a little time on it.
Now you mentioned you said most women are delusional. Now this is the thing. I don't think when you say,
and that's a strong word, but that's from me having been doing this since 2007. That's the point that it's getting to, and it comes from a lack of purpose and a lack of self-love. Like some of the stuff that I deal with some women is just, I want to ram my head through this brick wall, literally. Like some days I'm just like, this cannot be real.
I could only imagine, and I don't think with you saying that as a mature brother, and just the way you speak to women in general, I don't think as many that's gonna be offended by you, recognizing or acknowledging the delusion. But it's an entire industry, and now groups of men who are capitalizing off, speaking about the woman's delusion. So I'm just curious to get your take in general on men who make money just solely talking about how delusional women are.
Those men are really becoming the scum of the earth. And they are doing the devil's work. Because if I tell a woman, hey, on this topic right here, you delusional, but you need to come to reality. And then I'm gonna help build her up, and I'm gonna give her the game, and I'm gonna show her this is how you protect yourself from a grown boy. I'm not just gonna bash her for her lack of knowledge,
right,
and bash her for how she was raised or what society taught her. I'm gonna be real with her, but then I'm also gonna show her the roadmap of this is how you interact with men in a healthy way.
Right.
This is how you protect yourself from a toxic grown boy. But the guys today, it's basically, for a lot of these men, it's a new form of drug dealing. It's a new form of credit card scamming. It's a new form of being a jack boy. Like, it's a new form of being a pro athlete or a rapper. It's like they're saying, hey, okay, these guys get to be athletes. These guys get to be rappers. These guys get to sell drugs and scam. I'm going to just sit on here and bash women because I'm going to rally the men who are broken and hurting. And they're going to come in the comments and they're going to clap me up and they're going to agree with me. And so it becomes this thing to where it affects all of us. It affected me in my marriage. Me knowing better, me hearing that's how I learned the power of the mind.
Yeah.
It's by me hearing Kevin Samuels talk even for 2 minutes. I've never watched one of his full episodes. Just hearing him 2 or 3 minutes, it made me look at my wife with a side eye. It made me shift my position from Ephesians 5, love your wife as Christ loved the church, to looking at her like, what are you doing? What are you doing for me? When that right there is, it's not my call. It's my call to love her as Christ loved the church, and then have an expectation that she reciprocates that. But I have to lead as the man, and I have to show that love. And then when I wash her with love, because she's created for love, if I married correctly, she's going to reciprocate. And if she doesn't reciprocate, then
let me back that up just a tad, because the Angry Birds will not like the way that was broke down. They will not like the way that was broke down.
Love. And then when I wash her with love, because she's created for love, if I married correctly, she's going to reciprocate. And if she doesn't reciprocate, then I know I chose the wrong woman. And then that's when I can make my exit.
See, that's why I talk the shit I talk. Because I don't care where you get it from. One, you still have to choose. You have to choose right. And the man talks about leading with love. But before I get into that part of it, these platforms that are built now off of men basically venting their anger and frustration about dating and relationships. How problematic has that become for just everybody in the dating and relationship space? I will just say briefly, I think it's become so problematic because I've talked to a lot of, my sisters, and so many are worried that when they go on a date with a guy, the first thing the guy is he's gonna be talking like a meme or talking like a post from social media, and what you bring to the table in some way, shape, or form is gonna be part of the dialogue, and that's all a byproduct of angry dudes that got online and started bashing women. But these dudes have capitalized. They've made a lot of money. They've become famous. How do we reverse that?
I don't think we can.
It's done.
The damage is done. I mean, to the point where we raise an entire generation of women coming behind that who actually believe a man got to make 6 figures to take care of them. Like that's just normal. We had that video in the group where you had the women talking about, he got to make 600 grand a year. What's the median income? Oh, 250. Sis, where you been? So it's things like that I think are inherently broken. Son, will you go away, please?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Walk right up in there. Walk right up in there.
To the point about, whether these podcasts are beneficial or men are capitalizing, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I feel like we're dealing with a bunch of men, for the sake of the conversation, who, like, you was that nigga sitting in class in the 3rd grade, and the teacher was like, "Hey, what's 8 times 9?" And you sitting back there, jumping up and down, waving your hand, and she calls on you, and you say 8 times 9 is octopus. This is the reason why motherfuckers don't let y'all speak. Like, you are the person who is begging for attention, right? Don't have the answer, have not been paying attention to have the answer, right? So it's a lot of people who have not had the opportunity to speak, have not had the opportunity to be forthcoming with how they may or may not feel, who are the main ones talking the loudest. And then on top of that, you got to factor in that, where is this coming from? With all of your information, I'll be honest with you, I can listen to almost anybody because I feel like almost any person, you can pick up some game from almost anybody you come across, right? But if all of your experiences are negative, if everything you're saying is you being disgruntled towards women, if there is nothing positive, sir, you have fucked up somewhere in your past, on your journey. And you got to be able to own that. Everything is not always the other person. Yes. Again, if you have nothing positive to add, if you can't say straight up, like, I ain't like her, she was fucked up, she had daddy issues, she had this, that, and the third. But if you can't find even the slightest, most insignificant, minute thing to say, like, but she kept her nails done, if you can't find nothing, sir, you are significantly a part of your own problem. So for me, that's the biggest issue. It's like, where is this coming from? So, to Frank's point, it's clearly coming from a place where it's being fueled by hurt, negativity, and all these other terms that everybody overuses and want to throw around. But at the end of the day, it's like, I can't take you serious if there's not even a nugget of genuine game, you being real about how you may or may not have messed up in the situation. I can't take you serious, and that's male or female.
Sheffy, before the youngster interrupted you, did you have anything else? You better not have popped that boy.
No, I don't hit kids. But no, just piggyback on what Alita just said. An important question. I forget we talked about this on live before. An important question to ask in that first date is, in your last relationship, what could you have done differently to make that relationship successful? Mm-hmm. If you haven't sat there and just thought about what you did wrong, not, well, I would have did more if she, no. It shouldn't be predicated on anybody else. And that's the thing. So many people just cannot take accountability for where they have wronged someone. I mean, in my marriage, I fuss about my ex-husband all the time, but I know where I went wrong. I know a lot of things I didn't do for him that led to our demise as well. If you can't think about that at all, man, this is why these platforms work. Again, it's a whole bunch of people trauma bonding.
Yes. Yes.
It's no different than the new version of church. Let me go blame somebody else for what has happened to me.
It's always the devil. It's always the devil. You didn't go gamble your money away. The devil made you go gamble that money. You didn't like you.
God
you didn't
closed that door. No, baby, you was stealing from the job. That's why they fired.
Yeah. Go ahead, Frank, and then we're gonna get to Desi. Go ahead, Frank.
Damn, man, I forgot the question.
No, I was saying with all this bashing, like with these platforms that have basically, are we too far gone with these platforms that have built their brands that have just basically capitalized on bashing women? Are we too far gone? Is there anything we can do to reverse that nonsense?
Like anything, man, I think it's gonna run its course.
Mm-hmm.
I think just naturally, like your body fights off a virus, it's just gonna eventually cleanse itself. So I think there's gonna be remnants left, but overall, I don't think the I don't think the overall effect of what we're seeing now. I don't think that's gonna last. So I don't think there's anything that anybody can do unless you just go around and confiscate these niggas' podcast equipment.
It is something that can be done. Frank, I've been telling you for the longest, you need to put a tour together, a book.
Man, look, hey, and Desi
forever on that.
And look, no, Desi said, man, Desi hit me up, Desi said we need to go on tour, Manuel. Like, yeah, listen. I said, Desi, you book the venue and I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna pull up.
Like for real, we need to be out here like Fuhad and James. Like,
yeah, we pulling up. We pulling up. But I agree with you, Frank. I do think it's going to run its course because what we have seen is the more latitude a lot of them have hung themselves. They went so far off, they veered so far off the path to where they've gotten canceled. Like Fresh and Fit did that to themselves. Mm-hmm. Nobody did that to them but them. They just got so extreme. And Kevin Samuels passed away. Yeah. There is a brother that I know who says that he had a conversation with this man and said, yo, you're taking on a lot of stress by what you're doing. You got to slow down. Cortisol is not good for men. And I'm going to tell you now, men choosing to argue with women, we are not built for that. Any man with any sense will tell you we are not built to argue. We can discuss. We can have a little flash here and there, but night after night, hour after hour, I can tell you now, I'd have a brain aneurysm if I had to do that. There's no level, there's no money worth that. There's no entertainment. I don't give a damn if I did actually believe that I had enough value to pour into somebody to where they would get something from it. If I had to actually argue to get it done, you're not built for that. So I think it like you said, man, it's gonna cleanse itself. And eventually you ain't gonna have nobody out here with no podcast except for Devin. Devin gonna be the last one standing. Desi, did you wanna weigh in on that, or did you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think it's
no? I have to agree. I feel like it's just gonna kind of run its course. It's really, I mean, the internet it's the internet. Unless it's shut down, things rotate out.
Right. It's almost like when that famous person, something happens to a famous person, lawyers usually tell them, sit still, don't say nothing, don't respond, don't go on no tour, just be quiet. Mm-hmm. Because there's another famous person about to do something real stupid in about a week. So just don't do nothing else stupid.
But do you, okay, so we got to think about how long this has been going on, though.
So look, I was just thinking about that, right? Not to cut you off, I'm so sorry. But I was like, a part of the reason that this is going to keep going and spinning, it's going to take some time to, work itself out. But the problem is we have this complex where we all need a savior. You need somebody that you can look up to. You need somebody that you can go to help you get through your stuff. And it's not to knock religion or any of that. I feel like part of the thing is I bluntly had to tell this to men. I have more solid male influence, tangible, solid male influence in my life than some of y'all do. So I think that for the sake of the conversation, until some men can have that mentorship and have that personal, tangible to them, these podcasts and all that stuff, they are going to continue to exist.
Okay, I'm gonna hold us to the fire. I'm gonna really hold men to the fire on this one. Do you know how hard it is to tell a 35-year-old man he needs a mentor? I'm not joking. See, you come from healthy men. You come from healthy men.
It's hard. It's the job.
Tell a 35-year-old, tell a 40-year-old man he need a mentor.
He gonna look at you like you put on your
man,
face.
I got motherfucking kids, man. Shit, I am a mentor. Boy, you better not tell no grown man, no grown boy, or whatever you want. Man, you tell that man he needs a mentor if you want to. Man, he gonna walk, man. He that's gonna go through one ear and out the other.
That's why you can't stand. That's why you start there. You got to start them 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Now,
if you look at the generation now,
throw them away. Throw my age group. Yeah. Throw my age group away. Listen. If he's 41, 42, if he's 35, amen. And I don't know if he can be saved. Like, but if he in his 20s, early 20s, there's a window. You slide in there real quick. If he tells him, man, these women tripping, man, all these women toxic. You got an opportunity right there as a grown man to say, hey, young blood, let me holler at you for a minute. Let me give you a little game. Let me tell you about my bullshit, and I'm gonna see if it makes sense to you. You know, one thing I told my son is, I was like, son, if you ever need my advice on a situation, I said, you got to tell me the truth. I said, if you've ever done something shady in regards to a woman and you pick up the phone and you say, Dad, I got a situation. If you're innocent, all I'm going to be able to do is tell you, stay the course. I said, because I don't know how to guide people when it comes to innocence. But if you did some bullshit, if you was on some bullshit, oh boy, listen, hey man, I can tell you how to finagle and finesse that a little bit. And it starts with ownership, honestly. You know, the finesse starts with ownership. I mean, I don't know if that's called finesse, but it starts with ownership. And from the ownership vantage point as a man, you can start to work your way back. But that's if you tell the truth. So I can do that with my son. My son's still at an age where he can hear that. A 40-year-old man who already don't take accountability, man. What?
This goes all the way back to, man. One of my favorite quotes from Frederick Douglass.
Oh, look at it, boy. Go ahead, boy. Black nigga, that beard, nigga. It's the beard, nigga. That beard, boy.
Couple of hairs white too, so it really finna be profound.
Yeah.
So Frederick Douglass said, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So our age group, if they gone, them niggas gone.
They cooked.
You know, bringing them niggas gone.
Give them their passports for free. Free passports. But I will buy you your motherfucking ticket, boy. Hey, come here, man. But it's a one-way ticket now. It's not round trip. That's a one-way ticket.
You stay your ass over there.
Stay, go.
Still trying to pay $100 on a spirit flight.
Get them out of here.
Yeah, our energy, men that are reasonable men, our energy should be placed on the generation that's coming behind us. Because it is what it is now. What our age group or peer group or whatever has become, it is what it is. But we still have an opportunity to shape what this future generation is going to look like. If we look behind us and start focusing on molding the minds of the youth. That's the only way.
Well, hold on, but hold on. But look, man, hold on. I got Sheffy right there, and I got Desi right there, and I don't know if Lita's single or not, but I gotta make sure we get some man for them. So like, hey man, we can't throw them all away because Sheffy said she ain't dating no 22-year-olds, and Desi said the 21-year-olds too broke. So hey man, we gotta figure something out now. We gotta get some of them right. Lita, you willing to date a young one if we get them right? Or I don't know what your circumstances are, but hey, we can't throw them all away.
I'm throwing away I'm tossing away what doesn't fit. It's just that simple. The same way I get rid of a pair of shoes that no longer serve me. If it's a situation anything doesn't fit, the motherfuckers gotta go. It's just that simple with me. It's really that simple. I'm telling you, I simplify everything. If you are not gonna make it, I'm not gonna pay you no attention.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
Like it's to the point where I wouldn't mind dating, because I'm gonna date within my age group anyway. I'm 42. I ain't dating nobody older than about 47 and nobody younger than about 38. I ain't having no more babies, and I want you to already come in with your kids, and I want you to already come in a divorcee as well, because I don't want nobody starting from the beginning there. I need you to have failed once so we can know how to work together. But I need you to go to therapy. Like, if you're not actively in a therapy sessions, when we start talking, hard pass. I'm out. Because our generation was broken in the 80s and 90s. All of us got issues. All of us. We coming from the crack epidemic. We coming from the Gulf War. We coming from a series of wars that have happened since then. So we all could use a little sit down on the couch. So if you're not actively in therapy, and not know why I went to therapy 2 years ago, no, baby, we need to continue to work. Mm-hmm. If you don't know the meaning of shadow work and emotional intelligence, and you can't say the words, or if I ask you, when the last time you said, I'm sorry? Not I apologize. Not I owe you an apology, but I'm sorry. If you can't answer those questions for me, it's not going to happen. But if you can, and I can see you working through it, I can see you're progressing to be like the Franks of the world. Oh, I can work with that.
Franks?
Yes. Ooh, not the Marwells, baby. Mm-mm.
Damn. Yeah, yeah, boy. Listen.
Not yeah, boy.
Listen, boy. I'm gonna take you some shit, boy. It's gonna be some problems in there, boy. Listen.
She said emotional intelligence, like people running around here emotionally immature, unintelligent, and constipated. That emotional intelligence is a beast.
Man,
what? Sure, man.
It's bad.
It's and bad. Not just using it as a buzzword, but actually have practiced it in your daily
absolutely. And it's funny when you mentioned emotional intelligence. I was telling Frank this. We was talking, and I was like, man, in all seriousness, I'm like, knowing and doing is totally different things. And I was like, you know, when I was married the first go around, I had it. When I became a bachelor, I didn't need it, so I didn't practice it. And so, you know, when my wife would come around and when she'd visit, I could turn the switch on and turn it off, turn the switch on and turn it off. Well, when you get married, they're not coming and going. They're there every day. And I had to leave the switch on, and the switch, it would go on. And I'm like, well, on that, did that go off? Is it a bulb in there? The light is not on in that goddamn room. That's why her and I believe, you know, and we talked about, you know, hey, even for ourselves, therapy and marital counseling, like let's get it done and let's do it. Even if we ain't beefing, even if we ain't stressing, hey man, somebody just sit down and have a conversation with about the inside stuff. You know, it's like it's just inventory. If nothing, and that's what therapy is. If men would understand, sometimes it's just mental and emotional inventory, and you don't know what needs to be unpacked if you've never had anything unpacked. Man, we kind of holding the men accountable, which is good. I love it. You know, that's my favorite thing to do, hold men accountable. Listen, I leave that to y'all women to try to check women. I ain't got time. Shit, you ain't finna kill me. Except for I got my boy Devin for that. So on this next one, did y'all see the video of the two brothers that sat down in the red that the older brother was holding the younger brother kind of accountable for, and they were talking about provision and protection. Did y'all see that? Mm-hmm. Well, if y'all didn't see it, I'm about to show it. I thought this was a good conversation, and I wonder if more black men can have it. I tried not to watch it in its entirety because I want to have a genuine thought about it. That's kind of not rehearsed, but y'all give me y'all thought on this particular one.
50 with my woman. It's hard, brother. You sitting up here, your nice house, your nice jewelry, nice cars. Oh yeah, man, you gotta do 100%. How? How, brother? If I'm making $14 an hour, what you expect? You know, you still on there. Oh yeah, man, 100%. You're not a man. You're not a man. How? I'm still working. I'm still providing, right? So what makes me not a man? Because I'm going 50-50 with my woman.
And brother, I applaud you because I understand that it is hard out here, but we are men, so we have to go harder. I'm not saying or trying to speak down to you, my brother, by any means necessary. I'm not. But I want you to be reminded of something that our fathers didn't teach us, that we must go hard and that we shouldn't get into a relationship with a woman until we have direction.
Oh, I'm not a man.
Have direction.
But who are you to say that?
A person that cares, a person that loves you, a person that's been in your shoes and understands how it feels when we can't give our family what they truly deserve. We have to go hard. Now, give me one moment. I've been in your shoes. And when I was in your shoes, I stayed in my lane. I lived where I lived. My woman didn't work. She nurtured to the children till I got this. And I'm trying to give you the cheat code. Do what you need to do so you can feed your woman, and while she's nurturing the children, she can also nurture your dreams and your goals. Now you can be successful. Now you don't have to say, I'm working for $15. Now you can say, I got employees that I'm paying that's working for me for $15. I'm trying to elevate you, but men get so caught in their emotions and their pride, and the first thing you want to do is feel attacked. Get the wisdom.
This is coming from a rich man.
But right now you're acting triggered. But right now you're
this is coming from a rich man.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
But how do I give you? And I'm giving you the steps. Have direction. And I'm giving you the steps. This is, if you put down your ego, if you put down your pride, brother, am I saying anything wrong? I'm saying men should be men.
But you saying we not men. You saying we not men.
Brother. Any man that makes an excuse can't be a man completely. You can be a male. A man comes with responsibilities, and it's hard. To be a man, it's hard, brother. It's not easy. That's why the respect you want from your woman that you don't get, I get from mine.
My woman respect me.
Hold on.
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you?
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you?
Brother.
You think she has she ever raised her voice at you?
No.
Does she cook for you every night?
Of
brother?
course.
So she respects you. Cooks for you every night. Does she clean the house?
Of course.
She cleans the house, and you got her working 16 hours a day. That sounds like slavery.
No, it's not.
Brother, you got, and I'm giving you the steps. They got her cooking every night.
I don't have her doing anything. She does it because she wants to. We in the trenches together.
The trenches together?
That's what we in.
Brother, do you know anything about emotional abuse?
Explain it.
Emotional abuse is when you pour all your hurt and pain onto a woman, and just because you can't see her scars, you think it's okay. If I had a conversation with your woman, she'll probably start crying. They tired. They not built to go through what they're going through with you. She didn't choose you to struggle.
But again, who are you to say that?
Brother, a brother that loves you. And again, I'm trying to give you the cheat code. If you put yourself in a position, right, you work. If you have to get 2 jobs, you grind, allow your woman to do what she does in the home. If you have a business idea, you have her nurture that. Hey, baby, it's going to be a little hard for the next 2 years. But if we move like this, we're going to be good. You keep saying, who am I to got her cooking every night?
I don't have her.
Who am I to tell you this? A man that's been in your position. A man that has risen above your circumstances. And I'm coming back down to say, this is what you do. You're not a man until you move like this. Most males will die, never experience what it feels to be a man and to be complete respected by his women and children because he didn't step into that true king place.
I kind of got mixed feelings about it, but I'm gonna go around the room. Give me your thoughts first, Chef. Give me your thoughts.
I see what he's saying about he's not a man, and I see why the guy, of course, is offended. But it's no different than how men throw around the term female. The term female versus a woman denotes different stages of life when you have reached certain things. Females typically operate very transactionally, or they're just not up to snuff to be quote unquote wives, whereas women are in their femininity. They may have their life together, blah, 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 blah. This is the stuff men been telling us for years. So in the same sense, this guy saying same thing, you know, you're a male out here with your woman working 16 hours a day and she's still coming home and cooking for you and you thinking it's okay. That's emotional abuse. I don't disagree. I saw a post the other day where this guy was talking about, well, I watched my grandmama work 8 hours a day, and then she would come home and cook and clean for us, blah, 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 blah. These new women ain't built like that. And I said, what y'all modern men fail to realize is our grandmamas told the modern woman, don't do that crap no more. Our grandmamas told us, nah, baby girl, get your own so you don't have to do this. Well, I never saw my grandmama complain. Yeah, because she was busy taking care of you. She was too tired to complain, baby. Just because you didn't see it don't mean she didn't do it. Because every woman my age can tell you, our grandmama told us, nah, baby girl, don't do that unless he doing this. And if he not doing that, then you need a new man. So it goes back to the whole accountability thing. In his mind, well, I make $14 an hour and I go 50-50 with a woman. Okay, what are you doing to make more than $14 an hour?
That's the part that I was like, yo, man, look. And this isn't a situation, and I don't mean to cut you off, Chef. I'm gonna get right back to you. This isn't a situation where the brother, the rich guy told him you need to be making 6 figures. He basically saying, bro, 14 ain't gonna get it. 14 ain't it's just not, it's not gonna get it in this economy. I don't care how many hours you work, 14, bro. You gotta figure a way around that. But go ahead, Chef. Because I think the dude kept on coming back with, but this is coming from a rich man.
Right. And that's the annoying part, because it's like, okay, it wasn't coming from a guy with generational wealth. You could tell that man didn't come from generational wealth. He built
right.
wealth.
You're right. He's just worked.
Right.
And that's what he's telling him. I just got some direction and I just worked to get here. I didn't wake up like this. Mm-hmm. And so even when he told him, go ahead.
And we talked about that in the group, how the typical Black man isn't maximizing earning potential, because it's easier to just sit and say, well, this is all the world can offer me, versus how do I get more?
Right.
And therein lies the problem. We don't have enough people in our community, in our area of Black people, especially our men, that are just saying, how do I get more? The women have been saying it, and this is why we're outpacing men in earnings. We're outpacing men in business ownership. We're outpacing men in education, because we've been sitting back. How do I get more? We need our men to catch up. It's not enough catching up. It's too many. Well, I make $14 an hour. I got enough. My woman can go 50-50 and that's it. But, while you going 50-50, y'all also got the new Jordans that just came out. Y'all done bought them off stock exchange and all of that. And while I'm not one to necessarily police nobody's pockets, you do what you want with your money. It's your business. But then you can't also complain about the system holding you down.
Right. That's where and that's where that discipline and direction comes from. Because one of the things he told him is, man, once you get a plan and you get a direction, then you can say, hey, babe, I got this going. We're gonna struggle for a minute while I get this in line, but it ain't gonna be like that forever. That is a really different conversation to have with your wife, as opposed to, well, all I'm making is $14 an hour, baby, so I'm gonna need you to put in a little bit more. That don't go well. I'm making 14, baby, so I need you to do a little bit more so we can stay afloat. does not go as well as, hey, babe, I know I'm not making much right now, but I really got a plan. I'm working this, I'm working that. And if you sit tight a little bit, we gonna get there. Any woman that sees a man with that kind, and if you as a man have discipline with what you're saying, I'm gonna do this, and this is what I'm doing, and you discipline, a woman gonna peep that and say, okay, well, shit, he said he was gonna do it, and he said he was gonna take that course, and damn, he took that course. You know, he took my tax money and said he was going to at least go put it in the studio time and look at him. You know, cut that mixtape. I can get behind that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Brothers, do not forget, if you're going to cut your mixtape and it's tax time, Desi, Sheffy, and Lita, as long as you actually cut the mixtape, they with it. Go ahead, Frank, man. If you ain't too busy eating, did you watch over? What did you think about that exchange?
Honestly, if I can go back to 2005, I had that exact same conversation with myself just like that. Probably swing on myself too. In the process. Reason I have no pity, no type of compassion for that dude is because I was similar to that guy. So when I think about who I am now and who I was then, it's kind of disgusting to me. And me and you had a conversation like that before.
Man, I remember, boy. God damn, boy. I said, man, you just get the ticket to Miami, and when you get here, we finna go sit down. He said, man, I ain't got but so much money. I said, just get the ticket to Miami. Don't worry about no expenses when you get here. I got you. And I'll say, because, you know, he was talking about struggling. And my only thing was, bro, we still in our 20s. Bro, you got the back for that. You got the arms, the back, the legs, you got everything in your 20s to still go get that. So forget what they telling you can get. Just go get it. And that, along with what he's done since then. Go ahead, man. Finish your point. But yeah, we did have that conversation.
So the thing that pissed me off about Buddy is the fact that he had the nerve to be prideful. This thing said, "And come from rich man. You come from rich man. Yeah. Yeah. No point. Why wouldn't you listen to a rich man? I would be all ears. Like, nigga, tell me how you got here."
Right.
Please, sir.
Please, sir.
Tell me how you got here. Tell me how you got here. Tell me how you became rich. And let me go and duplicate that for my own life. The fact that this nigga sat there and said, my woman respect me. She work, yeah. She cook for you, yeah. She clean the house, yeah.
She don't talk back. She don't talk crazy to you. Nope. Like, he lying. All his energy saying he just got flamed up before he got there. That's why he angry.
His girl sent him there.
Yeah. His girl sent him to go talk to that man. Told him, say, hey, wear this red shirt so it look like y'all at least unified, because he finna cook your ass on that camera.
Wow.
But it was real where he said that if he talked to his girl, he know he'll get a different story. He will.
He said she'll just start crying.
Yeah. Because women, some women have this. If she really love you, it's kind of twisted in a sense, because she'll put your fragile ego above or beyond her peace of mind, where she will struggle in silence just so her complaints won't make you feel less of a man.
Woo.
And
that go with sex too, niggas. They go with sex, boy. You've been hopping up and all down off that woman for the last 5 years, and she ain't got now nut, and she cry every time, and she just letting you make it, boy. Damn, boy. She ain't getting
Telling
nothing out
you,
of that.
playing her noises like, oh, I make this noise when he go to the left, so he think the left work.
Yeah. She clamp up just at the right time to let you get it on out so she can roll on over and cry.
Grab the rose.
Text her homegirl this shit again. I ain't gonna tell him.
Or her side dude come through.
Oh man. No, it's not funny. It's not funny.
It is. It's hilarious.
No, but I hope Buddy look back at that video and feel some type of, which I know he ain't.
In some years, in some years, it'll take time.
But that nigga look about 40.
Well, hold on, what'd you say? Desi said something, but I didn't pick her up. We ain't got no sound on you.
Oh, I was saying I agree. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, it'll take some years. Like he'll grow and he'll go look back at that shit. And like, man, I was tripping.
I can't believe I said that.
I embarrassed my wife. I embarrassed my woman. My damn baby, why was you even with me? That's what he gonna come back and say.
Will he though?
Yeah,
if that's still his woman.
If that's still his woman, and if he actually progresses, because when a man progresses, seriously, it's like when a man looks back and he knows he's like, it's not where you are, it's where you get to. If he looks back and he realizes that was me, shit, and you was with me, yeah, hey, you like it, man. It's a boy that hindsight, it'll scare you a little bit. It's like a little gremlin back there, boy.
The most disgusting thing he said is, "She in the trenches with me."
She in the trenches with me,
nigga.
Yeah,
that's the point.
He said we in the trenches.
We in the trenches together.
We in the trenches together.
We're not doing that because if I'm out in the trenches by myself, I'm not going to join no one else in the fucking trenches. I'm not going to turn into an archaeologist and start digging. I'm not going to do it. Right? But I think so of course, he's offended because he's being told that he's not a man, right? Ultimately, that's the biggest part, right? Whether you agree with that or not, that's your shit. But I feel like that was the biggest immediate bruise to his ego before he could even listen to anything else that was being said, right? But I watched the entire clip, and there's moments where the older guy was telling him, like, you can't have hyper emotional responses to stuff, like you're over talking me, this, that, and the third. That's a sign of you pretty much being ego driven and blah, blah, blah. My thing is this, like, when you're dealing with somebody, you got three options, right? They're either going to get better, get worse, or remain the same. If I can't fuck with you where you at, the other two don't matter, right? That's how I feel about it. But at the same time, I'm like, the $14 is messing me up. And not because it's necessarily like not enough of money to take care of a woman. Sir, you can't take care of your damn self. You can't even take care of you. So
that's what I was.
Where it's like, at what point do you not sit your ass down and say, hey, let me focus on me. Let me get myself up to code. Because at the end of the day, I put it like this. If I have a moment where a week is tough because I had a random bill or something coming up, I'm not the happiest person. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to realize that you're in this space where you are not making the money that you need to make because you are unwilling to go pick up a trade, unwilling to get back in school, unwilling to do whatever the hell you got to do to make sure your needs are met. That's going to spill over into your relationship. That's going to come off as you being disgruntled. Like, that's going to display itself in many, many different ways. So it's like, on top of you saying, hey, you got to be in the trenches with me, understand that you are bringing extra emotional shit to that on your own. So it's just this weird space. I'm sorry, I'm rambling at this point, but
no,
simple. Just pick up the game like you're getting free game. Like, he's not giving you specifics, but he's giving you enough game.
That's $14 an hour right there.
Yeah, and if you move correctly, you can talk yourself up on that. So that ain't shit.
I was just like, that's. I didn't realize it was that bad because in 2002. If you told me I was making 14, boy, I'd have told you I was I'm King Tut in this bitch. Listen, hey man, that was some good money. Man. 20 something years ago, but now,
yeah,
my teenagers get more than that now, and I'm and like, golly, boy, inflation is
You
a
can make more
motherfucker.
than that starting at Chick-fil-A right now.
yeah. So
real talk.
Felony, like, what's up where you hitting this 14? And then the thing is, you want to see some type of progression, right? Like, you can't be making 14 today, and I look up 3 years down the line, and you still making 14. Like, there has to be some type of shift, and there has to be some type of movement. So to
Lita, is Lita breaking up for y'all, or is that just me?
It's you.
I hear.
Okay, you good. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Yeah.
You just tuned me out. You did the Charlie Brown thing. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not offended. But yeah, it's just weird that this is just my mindset, and I'm gonna just shut up. It's odd to me that you are okay with being in the trenches. Misery loves company. I am not going to give your misery the satisfaction of having my company. You are in a situation where you need help. Shit happens, right? But you're making 14 hots, you're making $14 an hour, and you want someone to be in that same space with you. That is some sad shit. That is sad to want to put that on somebody and to be, to Frank's point, 100% okay and proud and boastful to say, we in the trenches together. No, you're going to be down there and I'm going to toss some money in that motherfucker. That's where you're going to be, in the trenches with your mind. Like, I'm not going to do that with you. It doesn't make sense.
It's when I hear dudes say stuff like that, it sounds to me like, oh, you need help. So you're only dating because you need help.
Mm-hmm.
So any woman that's willing to help you is your queen to be. Because she held you down. And it's like, that's weird. That's real weird energy.
Yeah.
And y'all want this struggle love story later. And it's like, how can either of you help the other person get out of the trenches if you're both in there together? How? But then they gonna have 5 kids, and the kids gonna be in the trenches too.
Okay, gonna have a dog. Scooby gonna be in the trenches with them. Yeah, they gonna have a down there with them. Absolutely.
Some cats, some chickens in a double wide trailer that they bought off auction.
But I feel like it's going to be harder to penetrate somebody like him because it's not a matter of him feeling like, I think that this is the dynamic that she deserves, and this is the type of man that she deserves, and this is the type of man I need to be for me. He doesn't have that mindset alone.
Not at all.
It has nothing to do with how much he makes. If he made $25 an hour, $30 an hour, if he was making $100,000 a year, he still has that mindset of like what you bring to the table. Otherwise, he would be able to receive the man telling him, well, what you gonna do to, you got to grind so you can get more. He talking like, so we out here together instead of, well, I'm working on that. But right now, this is where we are. So I need her to go 50-50.
I think a man's natural disposition, if you've been raised right and you understand these dynamics, is you actually deep down, you want to put your wife, your woman, your significant other, the mother of your children, you want to put them in the most relaxed position, because the more relaxed, the more nurturing she can be. That like I don't understand how men who claim to understand the nature of women so well, the way they talk, the way they boast, the way they beat their chest. We understand the nature of women. You understand the nature of women. You have to understand that when they're more relaxed, not absolute relaxed. I'm not saying you go to work all day and you totally fund the lifestyle and she does nothing. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying more relaxed. We got these shoulders for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to carry more weight out here in the world. And then you want her to be in the trenches with you like y'all in a war against the world. And then while she's in the trenches, she's supposed to nurture your ass in the trenches? No, she's not going to nurture you in the trenches. Maslow's hierarchy of needs does not work like that. The trenches is the trenches. You got to get it to where it's a roof. You got to get it to where it's comfortable. We're in the modern age, so we're going to need some air conditioning. We're going to need some food. We're going to need some things a little bit comfortable so that woman can then nurture. And so his immaturity, man, I didn't see the whole video. I saw the clipped up version. that I presented the first time or part of it. But you can easily see he was offended. He was very offended. He felt really challenged. And again, I feel it's necessary sometimes because again, if he makes it through this, he will look back and be like, damn, that's embarrassing.
But the other part you got to factor into, you said like it should be, the men should want to make their women comfortable. But you got to think a lot of these men have never seen a woman comfortable. They don't
even know what that would be like if they got
to fathom, have your woman staying at home so she can breastfeed your baby, so your baby has a better immune system.
It don't even register.
Throw some formula in that baby mouth and drop them off at grandma's house while you go do this 12-hour shift. They're used to that because that's what their moms did.
And they think and I think a lot of men think it's an insult for us. I gotta tell men think it's an insult when we say, well, that's what your mama did, so that's why you expect that. That's not an insult. It's no different than an insult when y'all try to flip it back on women and say, well, you ain't got no daddy, you had no daddy. That's what's wrong with these women. Right. Like y'all, if y'all try to weaponize that, that's why y'all think it's being weaponized against y'all, that y'all moms was hustlers and selling a little something on the side and down at the office. Oh, well, some of their mamas were selling. Look.
I mean, they were. You're not lying.
OnlyFans just now became online. Back in the 80s, back in the 90s, it was OnlyFans. They just didn't have no cameras. Some of y'all mamas,
they had
a whole lot of fans. Yeah, boy, man.
On the bills.
Them bushes, boy, bushes back then. Everything was a bush, boy. It was, hey, man, muff humping. Anyway, I don't even get that. That's gross. Anyway, so the next thing the next segment, we're about to close it on out shortly. We got like just a few more clips, man. Do y'all remember the divorce attorney? I shared one of his live stream, and look, and this is not a divorce attorney that's out here to scare people. I mean, but man, I have never seen, you would think that a divorce attorney would be very anti-love, and that's not what this guy is, man. He's very much so, he believes people ought to take the chance. He really believes they ought to go for it. But anyway, I want to play some of what he has to say. One of the things that he said is, he was talking about how people always want to hear the worst stories about divorce. And so I want to ask y'all, why do people always want to hear the worst sides of it? But I'm going to play his video and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Because I don't get invited to a lot of parties, but when I get invited to parties, if somebody says, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a divorce lawyer. And they go, oh my God, you must have stories. That's the way everybody says, oh my God, you must have so many stories. And if I said, yeah, there was this couple and they, slowly grew apart, and then they decided that it would be good for them to end their relationship as a married couple, but they wanted to continue to have an amicable co-parenting relationship. So they divided their assets, and then they figured out a good parenting access schedule that made sure that they both had both leisure time and responsibilities with the children. People would be like, that's the worst fucking story out. That's so boring.
Yeah.
So what they really want is and then he was sleeping with the nanny, and then she caught him. So the truth is, people want to hear about those flameouts. And by the way, those are super interesting as a lawyer. It's super interesting.
It's usually going to be infidelity. You do have a chapter called Everybody Fucks the Nanny.
Everybody's fucking the nanny. There's a nanny fascination out there. I try to explain it in the book, but yeah, I've had some great nanny stories. People run off with the nanny. People end up getting married to the nanny. I had one where he convinced her that they should have a threesome with the nanny. They got the nanny drunk. They had a bunch of threesomes with the nanny, and then the nanny and the wife paired up and left him.
Oh, nice.
And they're still quite happy.
That seems like a happy ending to the whole
thing. For everyone but him. But it was his idea.
Well, he's really going to have a nanny fascination now.
Now he's got to see the nanny, who's now the step parent to the kids. And it was his bright idea of let's have a threesome with the nanny. The nanny thing I think is a function of, in many circumstances, is the characteristics of the wife that he remembers fondly and that have been extinguished by the presence of children. So my words of wisdom is not don't get a nanny or make sure you get an ugly nanny. My thought on it is that a woman should remember, even when she's a mother, that she's also a woman who a man, they fell in love with each other. And she should take time to be in touch with the part of herself that is an independent woman, that's interesting and interested. And, there's a lot to be learned from divorced couples because, divorced couples, if you do it right, it's awesome. I had a wonderful experience parenting and being divorced because I divorced when my kids were quite young. My co-parent, my ex-wife is awesome. She's a great mom, nice person. We're good friends. And it was great. I had half the time I had my kids and I could focus on them. And the other half of the time they were with the other person who loves them as much as I do. And I didn't have any of the responsibilities of kids. And I could just have, all of the wonderful fun that you can have when you don't have, the responsibilities that come with full-time caring for children.
So first of all, I thought it was absolutely hilarious that this dude suggested that they have a threesome with the nanny. And then the wife runs off with the nanny. I mean, didn't we talk about that before? Men, be very, very careful what you wish for. Open marriages and threesomes, men be thinking, oh man, it's gonna be a sex fest now. And then you find out, wait a minute, she getting all the offers for men, and in this situation, she done ran off with the damn nanny. But that aside, people want the horror stories about divorce. So I want to start there. Why do people want the horror stories? Because he said in the beginning when he just tells people that, hey, two people grew apart, they split assets, now they splitting time with children. Nobody wants to hear that. So why do people want to hear the destructive end? Why do they want to see the plane crashing?
People like sensationalized information, especially if they've never been through it before. It's no different than watching that train wreck on the road. People just want to see the worst. And then the other part of it is people want to justify their thoughts on what they think it looks like. The whole, well, she got half his assets. Look at that. Them y'all women just out here taking men's money and living off child support. And it's like, sir, child support doesn't even cover the mortgage. Like, what are you talking about? So people want to hear those stories so they can justify, well, that's exactly why I don't get married. Right?
Why I don't get married. That's why I won't. That's why, yeah.
No, you're just a horrible person. Nobody wants you.
I think Frank will probably say something similar, but why do you think that people prefer to hear that flame out? Like they want to hear the story that was just bad, other than they grown apart.
Sensationalism. People love a good scandal. We're so jacked up as a society. It's entertaining. The worse it is, the more entertaining it is.
Yeah.
As long as it ain't happening to you.
Right.
And so it's just like if you hear you're in an apartment, you hear your neighbor getting thumped on the other side of the wall. Nigga ain't gonna call the police. Nigga go put his ear against the wall and go and tell the room, hey, come listen, them niggas back at it.
That's so horrible.
So we're society is messed up so that they like the worst of the worst because it's entertaining, man. It's like other people's misery is an escape from their own misery.
That's true.
So
God, you gonna have me reflecting on myself. I need therapy.
Yes.
Cause I like there's a time I like watching people take L's from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, take that L. Yeah, shit. That's
part of the reason that people are okay with hearing the dysfunction is because It's more relatable. It feels like it humanizes them versus hearing somebody that's going through something good. It may make it seem far-fetched, something that's unattainable to you, aside from it being sensationalized, like they both said. But I think some people can resonate with that. Some people do believe in the struggle, love, and all that extra stuff too. So it's easier to digest the bad stuff. It's easier to relate to in some regards because it doesn't require a certain amount of accountability. Excuse me, it doesn't require a certain amount of work. It's just easier to deal with.
You know what? I was dating a woman, and I remember, and I think I told Frank about this. I was dating a woman, and she went through a disastrous divorce. She went through some crazy stuff on the back end. I mean, literally, I knew her. I knew the details. She went through some crazy shit. And me and my ex, you know, we were separated at the time. We had been separated for a long time, and we were coming to a very peaceful end. And this woman I was dating couldn't possibly fathom how I didn't have anything negative to say about the mother of my children, how we could have a phone conversation, how we could still plan events for the kids, how like it was just cool. Like and so the only thing she could resort to was, oh, y'all still fucking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, that's my ex-wife, mother of my daughters. She has a man, and I'm trying to be serious about you. I can't do that. That's not gonna work. Well, yeah, well,
people don't understand that. First of all, people find it hard to believe that men and women can coexist without fucking on each other, right? So if you have been in a relationship at some point and then you two are